Now it's time to talk about gameplay as far as Street Fighter 6 goes. And what I'm gonna say now, it may offend some of those hardcore fighting game fans, which I'm not a part of. I'm more of a casual now. I used to be, you know, big on fighting games. Back when you used to go to either a store to play or to the mall to play. Believe it or not, they used to have arcades at the malls. Um, and then, things change, I guess. Um, and the last game that I remember was ever on arcades was Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I believe. And I remember going to the mall and seeing people play that game, and they were already, experts at it, which, was crazy. They were already doing like unlimited combos to where I remember specifically being, I think it was War Machine or Iron Man, one of those, and the guy would just keep going and going with the combos. And he couldn't. The other guy didn't even get a hit in until he was dead. So I was like, damn, I don't want to play that guy. But anyways, so it's been a while, and then I tried to come back with Street Fighter 5, and I bought the original, vanilla copy, and that was a big mistake. And right after that, I quit again. And it's been now 7 years since I haven't even touched a fighting game. So that should tell you, how much I suck at them. But before that, I was into, King of Fighters. I was into Mark of the Beast, as I said before in another video. So I guess you could say I know some, the main thing I liked about most fighting games is the emphasis on art, right? In most fighting games. Now, I already talked about that, but what I want to talk about today is gameplay, game options, and what's going to bring those old school players back and some of the casuals to play your game. And the reason I want to talk about that is because the casuals are the one that's gonna make your game more popular. That's gonna make your game hit the main stage, and you don't want to isolate them. And a good way to isolate, the casuals is by just worrying about online play. Because you hear a lot of the hardcore fans, you hear them say, oh, if you're gonna do this, the first thing you gotta do is, worry about the online play. The online play gameplay has to be top notch. No lagging, none of that. We have to be able to play with people from across the globe. People from Japan, people from everywhere, and that's the main thing, right? But the thing is, for the casual fans, that's not really that important, because the casual fans ain't that good at fighting games. They haven't been playing for a while. So for them, you're gonna get in, they're gonna get beat up, and then they're gonna want to quit. So how do you keep those people involved and coming back to play? Right now, one of the models that I like to see a lot is these mobile games, right? This mobile games, and this is part of the reason why, the fact that this looks like an app, like a mobile game, is hopefully them picking up these way of gameplay that they've developed. Stuff like Fortnite, stuff like Clash Royale and stuff like this, right? So what happens with these type of games, it's like an app. You click on the app, right? And on the app, you're able to play and you're able to do, different kind of stuff, right? And yeah, there is online gaming, online plays and stuff like that, but that's not the main thing. The main thing in these type of games is there's options to play. There's different type of tournaments. There's reasons to play. Why? Because you want to update your characters. You want to update your cards, which are characters. You want to give them new looks and stuff like that. Different. Well, in this game, there's not that much different. But I know the abilities of Street Fighter is going to be much greater than a game like this. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that you should take these ideas from these online games. I mean, these mobile games, and make your game a lot bigger, and make your game last a lot longer. Like, for example, this last game lasted about 6 or 7 years, right? And you could have been doing what this game's done, Clash Royale. You could have been doing it and juicing everything out of it. People are going to want to pay. They're not going to feel forced to pay for the next season. They're going to pay because they want to pay, right? And you're going to give them the value that they need. Also, you can make a bunch of tournaments. You could, in this game, you can make there's a bunch of tournaments. There's training mode. There's also a mode where your recordings come out and you can see all your plays to see how you play and how you can become better and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is options, gameplay options other than online gaming is important, right? Different types of online gaming, like different types of tournaments, mini tournaments, right? All of that stuff is important. Why? Because the people are going to have stuff to do. And another thing that I feel needs to come back is, or needs to be into Street Fighter, is something like the Crypt. So another option for you to play with your character, other than the tournaments, other than online play, story mode, survival mode. All of these modes are important, right? But I think you need something like the Crypt, or something like, where you could walk around with your character and maybe beat some people up before you get to where you get to fight your opponent. Like you get to fight the little mini bosses, and then you go to fight, say, a Kuma or something like that, and then you go back to the other format. And it could be it could be like something where you're walking around, kind of like an open world, but not really. And I know you're thinking that that's a lot to ask for, but it's not really a lot to ask for. There's other fighting games that have done it. I already mentioned Mortal Kombat, right? But Tekken kind of did it too. And if they could do it, and they usually, their graphics are top notch, and they were able to do it in other games, and I think they were able to do it in 7-2, kind of, in a way. Their story mode was really good. It was very entertaining, and it didn't leave the casuals out. This is part of the reason why, I feel like Street Fighter is being left behind by all of these other fighting games, because these other fighting games, they have stuff to do, especially like Mortal Kombat and Tekken and other good fighting games that give their people stuff to do. And I feel like stuff like Street Fighter has been living off of mostly the name of Street Fighter, especially with the last Street Fighter 5. There wasn't. I'm gonna be honest. It was probably the worst Street Fighter ever, and it was the one that I spent money on, which is kind of sucks, man, because it was kind of like I was gonna get back into it, and then I bought the game, and it's all around sucked, just all around sucked. And every time I try to get back into it, it's always something, right? And then I go back to open world games. So maybe that's part of why I'm telling you to do this open world thing, because, well, not open world, but, you know, kind of like the crypt and stuff like that, which is kind of like your character walking around, and you're, you know, opening new abilities and new boxes that give you, like, you know, something that you could wear for the next fight, or, you know, stuff like that. This is going to give people stuff to do, and there's going to give people more reasons to come back to play, you know, your game. Also, you know, bring back the beat up the car thing, because that used to be a thing back in Street Fighter. I think it was Turbo or something like that. It also used to be a thing slightly with stuff like was it Third Strike, right? Third Strike was also one that had other things to do within the game. So, and that's basically my opinion when it comes to gameplay. You know, have more options for the casuals to have more things to do. That way they won't get discouraged, and just, you know, move on to open worlds, because I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one who left fighting games for open world games. And the reason why a lot of people do that is because open world games, you have things to do. You have a lot to do. You have places to explore. You can mess around, and it's not as finished when you lose, you know. And then in fighting games, it's like you lose so bad online sometimes that you don't really, and not even online, because what is it? Third Strike, man. The Third Strike computer was freaking brutal, man. Especially when you got to that final boss, right? So, yeah, just that's my wish for Street Fighter, for Street Fighter 6. And you know what? Take your time. Take your time. You know, make sure that you are absolutely ready, you know, to launch it, man. Because if you do what you did last time, first of all, I've made my mistakes already. I'm not gonna buy it when it comes out. That's not gonna happen. Okay, and that's what you gotta understand, all right? That a lot of people bought that first one and they were very disappointed. So in order for you to even make those people want to buy it again, you're gonna have to show them something more than this. Right? You're gonna have to show them something more than a small trailer. And maybe I'll buy it. You know, but even then I'm gonna be like, yo, like maybe I should wait till they come out with the arcade edition or something. And that's just, you know, that's just people learning from their mistakes. And what are you gonna do? That's what they gotta do, right? So anyways, that's it for today. And this is probably gonna be the last Street Fighter video I make until they do another update. I will make another one where I'm drawing a character for them for Street Fighter 6, and just using my creativity, because I do like to you know, exercise that. And maybe as I do that, I'll talk about, you know, characters that I wish, you know, would come back, or I think will come back, and characters that I think should get an update, just like Ryu, because Ryu gotta, if Ryu got an update, you know, King should get an update. You know, maybe he should wear like a suit or something, like he's working, or, you know, everybody should get an update, pretty much. So okay, guys, hope you liked this today, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.